Okay, so in today's video, guys, we are going to be going through the top 10 Piggy secrets that you did not know about, part 10. Oh my goodness, literally part 10. I have to say, I think that this is one of the most popular series I have ever done on my channel. You guys still love this series to this day. And today is no different. 10 secrets, 10 extremely good secrets, especially because we just had chapter 10 release as well. There have been so many secrets recently. You guys are going to love this video. But as always, if you would like to see more videos like this in the future, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. It is most definitely free and you can always change your mind later. Also, if you would like to join my Roblox group, then head on into the description down below. There should be a little link there and then you will be able to join the Roblox group. So guys, without further ado, I think it's time. Let's do this. Number 1, codes. Now with the release of chapter 10, we literally had another huge code literally sent our way. It looks as though we're going to be having some form of potentially 4-digit code that's actually going to be having some meaning towards the end of book 2. So in chapter 10, we had this note right here, which is literally a note with loads of decoded binary type stuff going on. You basically decode this and then you actually put it in backwards and then it gives you this. The second is 6. Now this is interesting because we did also have another note way back in the factory that said the first is 4. So we currently have 4 and 6. 4, 6. What is that going to mean? Is that going to be the exit door right in the end of Piggy chapter 12? Or is this going to be carried over all the way into Piggy Intercity? Only time will tell. Number 2, character chapters. Now I'm sure a lot of us have been wondering, when are we going to be getting the character chapters? Now Minitoon has actually confirmed somewhere around on Twitter that we will be getting chapter 11, then we will be getting a character chapter, then we will be getting another character chapter, and then we will be getting chapter 12. So it's not going to go 11 chapter character, 12 character chapter again. It's literally going to be 2 character chapters in a row. Now I feel like these chapters are going to reveal an awful lot about Piggy book 2 and potentially a lot of stuff that has happened in the past. But what I would like you guys to do right now is I would like you guys to go into the comment section down below. Let me know, who do you guys think that these character chapters are going to be about? 2 characters, go. I would probably say I'm almost certain one is going to be Pony, and then I feel like another one is potentially going to be Willow. I feel like those are the 2 characters that potentially have the most meaning behind them and a lot of story that we still have not really known about. I mean, I guess we had a little bit of a flashback with Willow way back in chapter 6 of book 2, so potentially that's not going to be a reason as to why we're going to be getting Willow. So maybe it's going to be Tigry or something, because there is a little bit of background around Tigry way back in the past as well, so potentially we're going to find out a little bit more about that one. Number 3, Swarm Mode. Now, if you did not see this video the other day, we are going to be getting a completely brand new game mode added into Piggy. Now, this game mode is literally going to consist of 10 bots, although I'm not entirely sure about 10 bots. We're basically going to be having a bot spawn in every minute. So it's very similar to 100 player biggies with the 10 player bot, but I feel like this time it's going to be a little weird, simply because I don't think that we ever really get past 5 minutes. If you're a good player, you never really get past 5 minutes, so at most you're probably going to see 5 bots, maybe even 4. So I feel like if you are a noob at this game, like me, you're probably going to end up seeing more bots. However, because I am not so much of a noob, I actually know where spawn things are and I know how to unlock things and I know where things are, so I think that I will be okay. But for the newcomers to the game, yeah, rest in peace. Number 4, Dynamic Bot. Now, courtesy of a good friend of mine, Piggy Discussions, also known as JB Bolter, he tweeted out this: future skin Minitoon may introduce a dynamically changing skin / character. In the future, this would be a character who slowly turns infected while in the map. Then, by the end of the chapter, the character turns to completely infected. Now, I feel like this feature would be extremely cool. There is a few things on Call of Duty at the moment that, of course, I'm actually a pretty big fan of Call of Duty. You do get guns that basically change like camo as you go along in the game. So I feel like maybe Minitoon is taking some form of inspiration from this and adding this into Piggy. But the idea of a Piggy literally going from its normal state all the way until its infected state is such a cool idea. Number 5, Tio. Now it looks as though this skinny fella from Piggy Chapter 10 is going to be called Tio. However, there is a little bit of controversy around this because Minitoon knows exactly what he's doing here. Now, some clever person managed to actually go into Minitoon's inventory and he took this Tio skin and actually took it into a Roblox studio, and then you can clearly see that it literally says Tio there. I'm sure we're all aware by now that Minitoon knows of this going on. Minitoon knows that people love to go into his inventory and literally leak things. So I'm almost certain here that Minitoon has probably added in this little bit of a decoy just to kind of put off our trails type thing. And he's made it look like this skinny fella is going to be called Tio, although it's probably going to be called something else, which we will be getting into later on in this video. But Tio in Spanish literally means uncle, and I believe that I've seen somewhere that it's to do with the Day of the Dead. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to add in because of it being an uncle. Maybe it's going to have something to do with Pony like I've been mentioning in the past, but again, we will just have to wait and find out. But Tio also stands for the Insolence Overlord or the Insolence Overseer. So that is an extremely cool name that I don't think is really going to actually fit into a speech box. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be seeing the Insolence Overlord or is it just going to be called Tio. Number 6. Survivor. Now, did you know or notice that in Piggy Chapter 10 that if you play the Survivor ending, it is literally only Pony, Player, and Willow that carry on into the next chapter. I do feel like a lot of the eyes have been all the way onto the Savior ending, so I feel like potentially quite a few people have completely forgotten the fact of the Survivor ending simply because it's just not really the most interesting one out there. But in the Savior ending, all the characters go together. However, in the Survivor ending, Robbie stays behind to actually look after all of the children. So I feel like the Survivor ending is actually going to be pretty interesting as to how that one is going to play out. Like I said, it's literally only Pony, Player, and Willow going into Piggy Chapter 11. Number 7. Eye Patch. Now, you guys have all seen this image right here. This image right here is, of course, the red eyes in the distorted memory chapter. Now, of course, this Insolence guy, Tio, it really doesn't actually link into these red eyes that are in distorted memory. However, this Tio guy is, of course, wearing an eye patch. Now, why exactly is this guy wearing an eye patch? Well, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a secret here and a theory as to why I believe he is wearing an eye patch. Now, I don't believe that it's going to be some form of Bunny eye patch simply because Bunny did get infected. She got scratched on the eye, and that is, of course, how she became infected. So I don't think that Tio is wearing an eye patch for that reason. However, because of this distorted memory chapter eyes, you see very clearly two red eyes literally staring at you. Now, I believe that when Tio takes off this blindfold or this whole eye patch thing, that it actually infects you. It controls you in a way that this man is actually going to be some form of voodoo doll. I feel like if Tio actually takes off this eye patch, he is then in control of whoever he is looking at. So that is potentially the reason as to why Tio is wearing an eye patch. Number 8. Don't press forward. Now we had a total of 8 notes in Piggy chapter 10, however we did also get a very clear message in the lead up to chapter 10. Minitoon was tweeting out some images that did actually hide some kind of wording inside of those leaks. The first one being don't, literally right there. The second one then said press. And finally, of course, the final leak that we did have for chapter 10 had forward literally hidden in that leak. Now I'm almost certain that again this is that Tio character playing or saying this again, so this is going to be pretty interesting because it's kind of like a threat or like a warning. Don't press forward. Why do we not want to press forward? Because we're literally just trying to get a vaccine to save our friend. So I do feel like a lot of people have completely forgotten this don't press forward extra kind of note type thing that was in Piggy chapter 10, and it is most definitely a warning that not a lot of people should really forget about. Number 9. Breakthrough. Now guys, we have finally had a very small breakthrough with the Piggy Intercity notes. Now again, a good friend of mine, Piggy Discussions, also JB Bolter, tweeted out this on Piggy Discussions. Intercity notes. One of the Piggy Intercity notes have been successfully decoded after 6 months. This was done with the help of a Creepcraft fan, providing Creepcraft with the information that we needed to get this far. Now with this tweet came this picture right here. Does this get anywhere with the Intercity notes, says JB, and then Minitoon replied underneath saying, one of those looks right to me. That is extremely exciting, and after this video has been recorded, I will most definitely be going into those notes and seeing if I can actually figure out anything from this. So those words that it could potentially be is theatre, centuries, have, father, cathedral, Siri, some, and Victorian. Now I'm going to take out a few options here. I don't think it's going to be Siri. I have no idea why it's going to be Siri. Some, it could be some, but I don't feel as though that this is going to be any kind of sentence because we don't really have any 2-letter words, we don't have any 3-letter words. The smallest word that we do actually have in this secret message is a 4-letter note. If I was to guess out of any of these, I feel like it's going to be either theatre, Victorian, or potentially father. Reason being, I feel like theatre is going to be potentially some form of operating theatre coming towards the end of book 2, but I could be wrong. Victorian, yes, Minitoon and IKEAs, they do love their creepy stuff, so going back to the Victorian times and that kind of setting and that kind of like whole entire appearance, I feel like actually it does really appeal to Minitoon and IKEA, so potentially Victorian could actually be right. And also of course cathedral, kind of the same as Victorian. I feel like these guys, they love their kind of creepy stuff, so I feel like cathedral could go into it as well. And of course father could be another one as well, just simply because we have spoken about Mr. Stitchy potentially being Pony's father. So you guys best know that I'm going to be trying to figure out this one as I have finished recording this video. And finally, number 10, Harold. Now a lot of people don't think that Harold is going to be this thin Tio guy right here. And Creepcraft did do a video the other day and said that, you know, you don't really have evil people called Harold. Doesn't really fit. Doesn't sound like, you know, Magneto or that Creepcraft said. But I kind of get what he's saying. Harold doesn't really sound like an evil guy. But maybe Harold was somebody before this Tio guy was actually a thing. Maybe this Harold was some form of character way before he turned into this insolent persona. But what I would like to show you guys is if you go onto Minitoon's Twitter and you go back as far as the 19th of September, you will see this image right here. Now this image right here is literally it's a stick man. It's a stick man with the purple hat that we did get the emojis for chapter 10 as well. So that's the only thing that I'm linking them towards each other, and below that it literally said Harold as well. So it's kind of a little bit confusing that Minitoon did put this whole stick man onto Twitter and literally captioned it Harold. And now all of a sudden, Piggy chapter 10, we're literally getting emojis with these purple hats, and then we get this really skinny fella called Tio, potentially. But again, like always, only time will tell. But anyway guys, there we go. That was part 10 to my top 10 Piggy secrets. Guys, this has been a crazy series. Now, would you like to see more of this series in the future? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you would like to keep up to date with all things Piggy related, then of course subscribe to the channel. Of course, you don't have to, but if you fancy it, why not, right? But anyway, guys, there we go. If you could be using star code Antixx when you're buying your Robux or Premium, that would also be much appreciated. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for joining, and we shall see you guys in the next one.